6 questions, 6 knives have pierced the truth, hidden beneath a flawless mask of a calm exit, yet no farewell is ever truly peaceful when a secret hand still lingers amid fragments that never quite aligned between final, unheard breaths. Although Gene Hackman is gone, these 6 burning questions continue to demand answers. From glittering red carpet premieres to wild after-Oscar parties that stretched until dawn. Gene Hackman once enjoyed every privilege of an A-list legend. He was the man who clinched the coveted golden statue twice and soared to the top without bowing to any secret powers. Yet behind that dazzling persona was a Gene Hackman who silently shut the door on fame. Every glamorous Hollywood invitation was turned down as he dismissed all that was dubbed glory. From the late 1980s, when his career blazed with hits, like Mississippi Burning and Unforgiven, Hackman steadily withdrew from the spotlight of major events. Glittering awards, fancy titles, and snapshots with colleagues over glasses of bubbling champagne turned into mere luxuries that Hackman simply no longer cared for. Hollywood, with its endless hunger for profit, showed no loyalty or conscience. This bold declaration wasn't just an offhand comment. It was the raw result of decades witnessing the harsh clash between dazzling flashbulbs and cold, calculated schemes. Hackman was never meant to be worshipped. He openly admitted that standing on stage to accept an award with hands slapping his back never felt right at all. The insincere smiles exchanged behind the velvet curtain and the hollow, obligatory congratulatory handshakes, followed by ruthless, cutting backstabbing left. There's a wild anecdote. Hackman once confided to a close friend that right after winning his first Oscar for his role in The French Connection, he ripped off his bow tie and tossed it straight into the trash can in the men's restroom at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion Theater. His outrage was far from a passing moment. It was decades of built-up frustration. From the day Hackman first stepped into the industry with a simple dream and fierce passion for acting, his journey was marked by disillusionment. He once declared, "I didn't come here for the fame, I came here to work." But soon he saw that Hollywood wasn't there to nurture passion, it was there to devour every soul that dared to dream too much about fairness or pure art. For years, Hackman was a constant thorn in the side of Hollywood's shadowy powers. He turned down lucrative contracts, skipped extravagant fundraising events, and flat-out rejected invitations to join the Academy's judging panel. To him, Hollywood was a giant trap where people were ready to betray one another, so Hackman boldly took an almost unheard-of path. He severed all ties with power, shut the door on the media, and retreated to live a secluded life in New Mexico with his wife, Betsy Arakawa, the one woman who never shattered his belief in kindness. Yet, even as he tried to break free, capital, Hollywood's grip still haunted him. Calls and scripts from renowned directors arrived at his doorstep, even though no one knew his exact address. Like ghostly shadows, they clung to Hackman's life, a constant reminder that escaping Hollywood's control was impossible. And the most painful truth was that the peace he fought to preserve for decades was built on secrets he was forced to keep. But he turned them all down without hesitation. Every script came with a laundry list of non-artistic demands, private dinners with powerful industry figures, undated contracts with vague promises about image promotion, and worst of all, unwritten requests that enraged Hackman so much that he tore the script to shreds as soon as he finished reading it. And what he revealed became the first shocking piece of Hollywood's terrifying puzzle that he had witnessed. Contrary to his cool, seasoned on-screen persona, Gene Hackman in real life was a smoldering fire, always ready to erupt at the slightest provocation. That very fire blazed its fiercest flame on the set of The French Connection in 1971, when Hackman embraced the role of Jimmy Popeye Doyle, the character that catapulted his fame. No one could have predicted that behind those gritty, realistic scenes lay a time of explosive tension between the lead actor and a domineering crew. Director William Friedkin was a well-known figure, yet his working style was an absolute nightmare for anyone who resisted. Famous for his ruthless direction, he pushed actors to their physical and mental breaking points in pursuit of raw, realistic footage. However, for Hackman, the ordeal went beyond Friedkin's brutality. It was the unseen force lurking behind the cameras. From his very first days on set, Hackman sensed that the eyes watching him were not just those of the crew. He received mysterious private calls and suggestive offers from unknown men that never mentioned acting scripts but instead imposed conditions for unseen backing. Hackman later dubbed these the dirty deals behind the curtains. During a late-night shoot, when the entire crew was drained, he slipped backstage for a breath of air in a dark corner behind the studio, where dim streetlights cast an eerie glow. Suddenly, he overheard a brief conversation between the producer and a stranger. The whispers, mingled with cigarette smoke, were enough for Hackman to grasp the sinister role. It became clear that even his awards and career path had been meticulously prearranged. He realized they didn't need a new face, only someone easily controlled. The icy voice sent goosebumps down his spine, and his pent-up anger exploded the very next morning. Hackman boldly confronted Friedkin and the producer face to face, yet their only reply was a mix of faint smiles and defiant stares. That was the moment he understood the cruel game. Actors were not revered artists, but mere pawns. The footage he captured wasn't just for the audience, it served as a weapon in hidden schemes. From that point, Hackman shunned every private meeting with producers and steered clear of exclusive parties where secret deals were disguised as friendly get-togethers. He knew that crossing those doors would cost him not just his career, but his very soul. Remarkably, few knew he had been invited to star in at least 3 hit films of the 1970s, each of which later won Oscars. But he turned them all down without hesitation. Every script came with a laundry list of non-artistic demands, private dinners with powerful industry figures, undated contracts with vague promises about image promotion, and worst of all, unwritten requests that enraged Hackman. So much that he tore the script to shreds as soon as he finished reading it. An unconfirmed internal rumor had haunted the film industry for years. Hackman reportedly witnessed a covert scheme to rig the Oscar results. A powerful producer secretly negotiated with a media representative from the Academy, not about film quality, but over a media guarantee package promised after the awards night. From that moment onward, Hackman rejected Oscar campaigns forever. To him, the Golden Statue wasn't a tribute to art. It was merely a trophy earned after secretive handshakes in the dark. When nightly whispers echoed through the studio that here, Hackman knew he no longer belonged. In a modest room along the Santa Fe coast where Gene Hackman spent his final quiet years away from the chaos, the old phone rang late at night. On the other end came a familiar voice. His longtime friend, the one person Hackman trusted enough to share the secrets he'd buried since youth. He opened with a short, icy sentence as chilling as the night wind through an ajar window. "We sold our souls for fame, and I can't die with this burden on me." The New Mexico sky was pitch black, but the true darkness filled the room, where Hackman sat. No lights, no familiar whiskey on the table, only the grim memories he had tried to bury for over 50 years. Now, like a rising flood, Hackman slowly recounted each word as a heavy stone tied to his chest. He recalled a night in 1974 at a Beverly Hills mansion where A-list stars and powerful figures from production, media, and political circles converged. It wasn't merely a party, it was Hackman's first initiation into the inner circle. This elite group of veteran actors, canonized by Hollywood's press, concealed unspeakable secrets behind the scenes. According to Hackman, it wasn't a secret society with elaborate rituals or blood oaths. It was a secret pact. Those who'd witnessed too much of Hollywood's dark underbelly were like shipwreck survivors, forced into silence to protect their lives and careers. But the gravest secret Hackman bore all his life eroded his soul daily. It was the cover-up of Hollywood's most atrocious crime, a child abuse ring involving famous filmmakers, gifted actors, and shadowy figures who manipulated awards and the media behind the scenes. In 1975, Hackman and several well-known actors who had gracefully faded from the limelight were invited to an exclusive private party. They assumed it was merely a chance to mingle with the powerful elite, but behind that closed door, in a lavish room concealed by a sumptuous red velvet curtain, a horrifying scene unfolded. Innocent children, too young to understand, were shockingly exploited as mere playthings by self-proclaimed tycoons. Thunderous laughter, resounding applause, and secret handshakes filled the air. After every exchange, each moment was etched into Hackman's soul. his eyes freezing the memory like a surge of black ice. The very next day, Hackman and several fellow actors, unwitting victims of an earthly nightmare, were summoned into a sealed room. They were given a brutal choice: sign a non-disclosure agreement for roles, fame, and safety, or speak up and have their careers and lives shattered like dust. Hackman signed the agreement not for fame, but because he knew he couldn't battle the colossal machine fueled by power and money on his own. It wasn't merely a confession. It was a tolling bell that swung open the gates to hell. Hollywood's dirtiest secrets were poised to be exposed. The modest wooden house in Santa Fe where Gene Hackman spent. His final years suddenly became the epicenter of attention as news of his passing spread. It wasn't local curiosity or a tabloid frenzy that spurred their arrival. It was a mysterious cadre of individuals who shunned the spotlight and arrived. First, they didn't bring flowers or memorial candles. What they sought were the secret tapes. These tapes, long whispered about in closed conversations among veteran actors, were living evidence of Hackman's enduring habit of covertly recording every scandal. Not to blackmail or wield them as weapons, but merely to preserve living evidence, in case the truth ever had to be unleashed. Hackman dubbed these recordings the lifeline tapes, the only thread connecting him to his own conscience. As an anonymous insider revealed from the late 1980s, Hackman had begun this clandestine habit long ago. Calls from influential producers, high-stakes negotiations for coveted roles, veiled threats to uncooperative young actors, and even hushed conversations that were never officially documented. Following a family request, Santa Fe police meticulously combed through the entire house, including secret drawers and hidden compartments. Every floor tile was examined with precision. Not a single tape or tape box was found. They had utterly disappeared. Hackman's family, notably his cousin who lived next door during his final decade, recalled seeing the old tape boxes neatly arranged in a worn leather suitcase. Hackman never explained their purpose. He only warned that if anything happened, they must never be opened. Yet when the police finally... Hackman once confided to a friend, "If you could hear what I've heard, you'd never watch another Oscar night again." Now that Hackman is gone, the mysterious tapes have vanished too. Following a family request, Santa Fe police meticulously combed through the entire house, including secret drawers and hidden compartments. Every floor tile was examined with precision. Not a single tape or tape box was found. They had utterly disappeared. Hackman's family, notably his cousin who lived next door during his final decade, recalled seeing the old tape boxes neatly arranged in a worn leather suitcase. Hackman never explained their purpose. He only warned that if anything happened, they must never be opened. Yet when the police finally opened Hackman's storage room, the cherished suitcase was nowhere to be found. Not a trace, not even a note was left behind. Someone had stealthily stolen it. The chilling question still painfully remains: how on earth did Hackman manage to copy those tapes, and where are they now? Could they be in the hands of a former colleague safeguarded by a mysterious New York lawyer? Or perhaps they've been funneled directly to a newsroom where intrepid reporters sit atop a ticking time bomb, ready to ignite at the perfect moment. Insiders in Hollywood disclosed that Hackman wasn't the only one who knew these tapes existed. Number of directors, screenwriters, and even young actors ensnared in these dark deals were aware of the tapes. Yet no one dared speak of them, knowing that merely mentioning the missing tapes was like signing a death warrant. As the lights dimmed on the deserted streets of Santa Fe, only haunting questions lingered in the darkness. What shards of truth did Hackman leave behind, and who or what force controls whether these dark secrets will ever emerge into the light? In that oppressive darkness, Hollywood remained eerily silent, as if nothing had ever occurred. Yet those who truly knew, Hackman understood, the tapes weren't lost but merely concealed, waiting for a brave hand to unveil the truth. Hackman fought to maintain peace, yet Hollywood's grip never loosened. You can leave Hollywood, but it will always haunt you. A statement he made in a private 2005 meeting with old friends became a chilling curse. One attendee vividly recalled that Hackman always carried a quiet gaze, yet beneath that calm exterior burned a fierce, smoldering fear that betrayed his inner torment. A fear born from witnessing too much, knowing too much, and harboring countless secrets that should have remained hidden. In his early New Mexico days, Hackman maintained only sparse contact with a few trusted old friends and colleagues of that era, those united in defending what they boldly termed artistic conscience. Gradually, everything began to shut down. The phone fell silent, and even handwritten letters lost their recipients as Hackman slowly retreated into complete isolation. He once joked with his cousin, saying, "If I disappear one day, no one will know." Yet it was far from a casual remark. It was a haunting premonition. After Hackman's passing, his cousin revealed bizarre signs over the years. Mysterious cars would often park at a distance in front of the house, sometimes idling all night with someone lurking nearby. Odd phone calls in the dead of night, just the sound of soft breathing, followed by cryptic, handwritten messages. Although Hackman never officially admitted he was being followed, his cousin confirmed he knew all too well. It was all because of what he knew and what he guarded fiercely. The days were far from peaceful like the serene scenes of an aging legend's sunset. Instead, they were marked by suffocating tension, as if every last breath was being brutally choked.